before I start talking. Are you warm enough? You need anything?
No, I have a sweater.
Want me to turn on the little space heater?
Oh, yeah, that would be nice, yes. Hello, baby. Good boy. Good boy, baby.
Here, let me see your pocket. Your pockets, quick. Let me look in your pockets. Stand up. Let me look in your pockets. Okay. I got a frisk you of toilet paper. It's a fun game we play, Mom. It's a fun game we play. I hate this song right now. I really have no desire to listen to this. Where's my stupid phone? I don't want to hear this stupid song right now. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Stanley, what are you doing, Stanley? So don't you bother me. I'm standing around. Artie Pants, get out of the kitchen. Out. Go. I don't care where you go. I don't care. Just don't be on the tile. I don't want to hear your little tippy-tappy toes right now. I just don't want you in the kitchen. You're never allowed in the kitchen. You find yourself in the kitchen so often. It's amazing for a dog that's not allowed in the kitchen. You're in the kitchen a lot. The only ones that are really loud in the kitchen is like Benny off to the side over here, and he's under the window because he eats under there, and Luna eats over there in the corner. Aside from that, it's a no dog zone, huh, Luna girl? Don't bother me, and don't make it scary either. Don't make it scary. I took a run in your mouth. You're so pretty, good girl. Isn't she cute, Mom? Look at her. She's being cheeky. She's being smiley. Her little face is turning white.
I know.
Okay, let's do this. This is talk number 2 today. Hello, welcome to my tube. My name is Marge. I'm a Yoke empath. I just like having these little talks about how I feel about things. And there's some things I wanted to talk about earlier that I forgot to mention, so I thought I would just do jump on here and talk and add to it. So, anyway, before I start yammering, how you doing, Ma?
I'm doing good.
Did you have a good day?
It's a nice-
You grubbed today. You ate. I made that turkey I made her a turkey sandwich
What
with
was
lettuce and tomato, and you freaking about. I had like 3 bites of it. You grubbed on it. I love when you eat good like that.
turkey?
Yeah. Nice and light. You don't like ham much. They have sliced chicken too sometimes. Would you like that? Chicken sandwiches? Sometimes I get you that chicken salad stuff. See, because if Mom would eat the same thing every single day of her life. I just think it's important that people enjoy food because it's good for cell regeneration. A happy body is a rejuvenative body,
That's
right?
Yeah.
You know? So, Mom gets lots of options. I give Mom lots of options every day. She gets lots of choices. She gets to decide which way her life is going to go. Huh, Ma? Yep. So, anyway, I called today to this evening's talk, my purpose. I haven't talked about my purpose in a while. There's some new people to the tube, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to reiterate what my purpose is as I've come to find it. My primary purpose is the care and comfort and health and well-being of myself so that I can take care of my mom. That is my primary purpose. And then I got these dogs because got into dog rescue back in 2010. I got 1 dog, ended up with 4. It's all well and good in the beginning, and then, I knew one day, I said, Marge, okay, you got them now. I said, but one day they're all going to be old. That's going to be hard. Are you going to be able to handle that? So I said, it's a lifelong commitment. Either you got to let them go now or you're going to have to let them go at the, So I kept them. I ended up in New Mexico to keep my family together, keep us all together. We had Sass too. Sass passed away January 3rd last year. Mom's little Chihuahua. She's 19. Man, she's small dog, large presence. Anyway, we always been like that. We never had a big family, so our animals were our families, our companions. So you don't, I don't know. That's just how we are. Whatever people do on their life path, man, I am not here to freaking discriminate. I'm not here. Sometimes I talk trash and people might take that, but that's not where my heart is. I'm not here to freaking, make people feel bad about their experience. Lord knows I feel bad enough about the choices I've had to make in life. Sometimes. Ultimately, it's for my highest good, and it's for the good of my, for Mom. Mom had a stroke when she was 38. I promised I'd never put her in a home. So, thank goodness to universe creators kept giving me, it's been hard. You watch my videos the last 2-3 years. It's been hard, trying to navigate through this planet with the freaking craziness that it's succumbed to, and so that's my primary purpose. And then along the way, I get these other little purposes too, purposes that feed my spirit, purposes that feed my soul, things that I'd like to do, along my path. I've had a lot of hard situations in life that would be difficult for regular people. And I'm not neurotypical.
I don't think like other people do. I always got in trouble because I don't think like other people do. So I always presented other ways of thinking, and then the people that were stood up in front of the room and said, "No, don't think for yourself," and then they would make an example out of me because I would often interject with different ideas. Yeah, sure, people could do that, but try it this way. I got in trouble a lot. I was one of those. Acted out in class, the class clown, because I'm just always, people were so adamant that this is how things were. I failed history because they said this is what happened in history, and I said according to whoever, you open the book, you look in the back, it tells you who the publisher is. So history is designated and based on the publisher as far as I'm concerned. Doesn't really have much to do with anything that really happened. But he who has the printing press gets to write history. And then we get to accept it. I failed history because I wouldn't accept it. So, Mr. Eaton, do I get my summer back? I never liked the guy anyway. I never liked all the teachers that everybody else liked. I'm a contrarian. That's what a Heyoka does. We look at the holes in everything. We see full spectrum. We see the light, the shadow. We see all parts of everything. I just dropped my pen and caught it without looking. That was pretty cool. That was the force right there. So because I've had through so many hardships in the course of my life, my purpose is to find solutions in these hardships, or to make these hardships less. You interject me into any system, I will make it better. It's just what I do. Whether I'm a busboy at a Mexican restaurant, or I'm flight line support of the United States Air Force, I'm going to make that position. I'm going to do the best I can in that. I'm going to be the most efficient, And what I do, and from all this experience I gain, and all this wisdom I gain, and all these mistakes I've made in my life, that's why I'm so open to talk about all the mistakes I used to drink, and I used to do all this stuff that just to feed my ego. And ego, as I understand it, is easing God out. EGO, easing God out. And God, as I understand it, is good orderly direction. Just don't be a jerk. Right? So ultimately, one day I want to have a place where travelers can come, since so many people like traveling. I don't like traveling so much. I've been around a lot. I used to have more of that adventuresome, I just wanted to go everywhere and do everything, and now I saw, it's like I went all the places I wanted to go. I saw and I know the world's a big place out there, but your soul, your spirit incarnates enough. You die, you come back. You die, you come back. You go to all these different places around the world, and my feeling is, those are storylines I lived, and I have no desire to relive them again. So all the places my heart desires to be are places that are designated in this storyline. So like all that backpacking across Europe and stuff like that, that was like never my thing, because so many places, I've been a lot of places around the United States on trains. So geography-wise, the world is like you got the desert, And so you got the desert in Oregon, you got the desert in California, you got the desert in New Mexico, you got the desert in Arizona, you got desert. There's desert all over the place. And then you got the high plains. Well, you got places like that in other parts of the country. It looks the same. So I'm going to put a lot of money and a lot of my life force energy, worry about leaving mom, the dogs, all that, and take off to go to a place that I've already been before in a past life, likely. Although I do believe that we are having like our dream state is our soul experiencing our lives in different timelines, in different dimensions. Like reoccurring, you're going back to the same timeline. You didn't absolve it, I got a lot of, see, that's the thing. I don't care if people agree with me. I don't mind. I'm contrarian. I am just here to interject other ways of thinking. Other ways of thinking, besides the ways that people are told to think. The absurdities that people are told to think. And they just do, because that's what they're told. You got all these people running around the planet that read books. They read a book. They read this book and they read that book. And then they wrote a paper based on what they learned in that book. Right? And then they go out in the world and they say, I read these books. I know what these people's opinion are. I put them all together and I've come up with my own, so you need to listen to me. I don't listen to people unless they have life experience. I don't listen. I don't validate people their what they know if they can't change a tire. People that haven't ever had strife and gone through really hard, like having to choose between food and utilities and dog food and getting your car and having to make these hard choices, because there's a lot of people in this world that don't have family, they don't have friends, they don't have a support system to come in and be like, you know what, we're here to help make things better for you. That's what the whole world is for, but people somehow aren't getting that. Creating. That is taking an idea and somebody taking that idea and making it happen. That's what creation is. Right? But people got greedy. They got greedy. Their ego. They eased God out. They said, God wants me to take care of everybody, not just me, but fuck God. So I'm gonna go live for me. I'm gonna get these job titles. I'm gonna get these expensive cars. I'm gonna have properties everywhere. I'm only gonna let my developer friends do specific stuff. I'm gonna have my, special dealings because because I sat on my dad's lap when I was a kid and watched Godfather. So someplace back here I got a seed plant on my head. I'm sort of some motherfucking gangster. So I'm gonna play God. That's what all these people got these seeds planted in their head that they are God. That they are going to make the world how they want it. Be damned everybody else. And you all ready for the flip? You ready for it? The script's going to flip like a pancake, y'all. We are way overdue. I'm here to help soften the blow, y'all. You get used to trauma. You get used to being scared. You get used to the jolts. You get used to it. Yeah. The thing of it is keeping, it's a trip, man. I had 4 near-death experiences before I was 12 years old. Yeah. I mean, I'm one of those, the freak, FREQ, like frequency. I'm a freak of nature, and I recognize that. I got the ability of telekinesis. It's been verified with people all over the place. It's not just, oh yeah, sure, it's crazy. Yeah. No, dude, I do it for people everywhere. You come visit me, Taos, New Mexico. Come on up, come visit. I'll show you. I'll be your tour guide. I'll do my lighter trick for you. You do it. You try it. You try it. And then you practice, and then you come see me, and you do it for me. Lighter trick. It's the fluid inside. It's the fluid inside. That is what we're cooperating with. It goes left, and then it goes right. I got this. I got this from a YouTube video, and then I tried it, and then I said, here, Ma, hold this. And then Mom held it. It's gonna fall. And I can go both ways. I could do it both ways. I want other people to try it. I'm not the only one that can do this stuff. I just believe that hey, if this could I understand the principles of it. I'm gonna try it. Oh my goodness, it works. I can move stuff with my energetic field. And then Mom tried it. Mom can do it too. So now I go all around. I'm like, hey, I get this from my mom. I have the ability of telekinesis. I get it from my mom. I want other people to try it. They can do it too. Got a little carried away from my purpose. So I want to have a place here in Taos where travelers can come. I want to have a large garage, right? I want a place with some close proximity to somebody or some stream, some river, whether it's the Rio Grande, right? And then have a place where campers can come. You know, and whether they got you know what though? No frickin' Mercedes allowed. None of those, no, I'm talking about the traveler, the weary traveler. Yeah. I'm not talking about your freaking, no, it's a different heart space. But come visit, hang out. Anyway. and then, well, no, I can't do that. See, I can't do that. It's not the right thing to do. That's not good for everyone. You can't have a place like that and be like, your car's too expensive, you're not welcome. What a fucking dick. So, all right, I'm going to retract that. So, people are welcome. People are welcome, right? You don't I don't always have to get along with people. We all got to live amongst each other. Right? Just don't be that D-bag that I see in the grocery store that's like stands in the middle of the aisle because you're the center of the universe. But so and my facilities that it'll have stalls, automotive facilities, so people can work on their broke cars. Because a lot of people, I can't tell you, I lived here 2 years, and people are constantly breaking down, and they hang out in the Walmart parking lot, right? Now, wouldn't that be cool if people broke down? They say, hey, we got a place for you to go. Could have them go out to Marge's, right? Then get a tow out to Marge's. They have a place to has facilities for shower, laundry. Internet capable, always a place for fellowship, always a place where they have a pot of coffee on. I don't like staying up all night and stuff, but there's a lot of people in this world that do. Only thing is that this is a world that I will designate. I won't designate who comes in, but it will be a freaking, you want to smoke some weed, eat some edibles, come on, eat some psilocybin, hang out with the fun guy, do all that kind of stuff. That is cool. I ain't into the freaking people on heroin and fentanyl and all that other, that other stuff. Booze. I'll have a locker out by the front gate. And people can leave all that crap out there. That's the only thing, man. I want only things that are going to establish somebody's spirit. Not that's going to take somebody's spirit where they never might not ever get it back again. So So yeah, my facility, and that would be cool if they had these Marge travel centers all over the place where people could come and fix their cars, get parts, have like, I could be the shuttle. I could just give you a ride to the shuttle parts store, I could show you around town, stuff like that. There's a lot of history here. There's a lot. The natives talk about the frickin'. I live like 12 miles from Cuesta, big open. They talk about the giants up there. The history of that folklore of the local community ain't written in no book nowhere. Yeah. Anyway. So that's my purpose. And it's just, hey, man, if people are struggling and if they don't want to do those drugs and stuff anymore, I am all about recovery. Recovering. Because every day you wake up, people are gotta recover for something, man. They gotta. I finished listening to Joey Gypsy's The Talk earlier today. I listened to it a little bit after the first talk, and then I listened to the rest of it. And he's talking about, things that you got to do to be have self-respect. I said my go-to is do respectable things, right? Right? You got to elaborate on that. And also some things, and he probably hasn't ever been introduced to this ideology. There are circumstances in life that if you want to clear the air, if you want to be a better version than the person that you were before, and if you absolutely do not want to act like the person that you were before, and if you want to go through extreme measures, there are circumstances where I've done shitty things to people in life, and I've had to go to these people and look them in the eye and say, this is what I did. I did this. I can only imagine how you feel. If somebody did what I did to you, to me, I would feel this way. I don't want to live like the person that acts like that anymore. So, I was wrong for treating you the way that I treated, and for doing that thing, whatever it was, and say the thing that I did. What is it that I can do to make it right? And you can't go in and say things like that to people unless, I wouldn't do it unless you what talked about it with a buddy that knows about this. You don't just go, because there's certain criteria. Leave exes alone. Leave them in the past, Well, if you stole somebody and took money from them, stuff like that, be sure and show up with you got the amount at least that you took from them and make that right. And then, if they feel like that you owe them more, whatever that number is, you got to be willing to give it to them, even if it's in a norm. Okay, all right, well, we're going to have to set up a payment plan, When people start doing more stuff like that, mankind, it would be all right, maybe, But a lot of times people just don't know how. They don't know how to be a better person. They don't know what it actually entails, And I assure you, it doesn't have anything to do with buying somebody's coffee behind you. It kind of touches on it, but we're at the level on this planet now that people should be leveling up a little more. So, my purpose is to use all of the life experience that I have acquired in 48, near 49 years. I'll be 49 years old on the 9th of April. And God willing and the creek don't rise. And for all of the situations that I have lived through, more and more people are having more and more situations come up. And what I found in life is that just one human being relating to another human being, relating, that to me, as I understand relating, is I can relate. I understand what you're going through. I have been through the emotions that you're going through in a situation related like this. And so relating, that one relating, I've had so many situations that haven't happened to a lot of people. The world is evolving into a place where it's happening to more and more people. I can help with that. All those little kids that are freaking jumping around, but you can't keep, they're driving their parents crazy because their parents just don't even know what to do with them, and these autistic kids that are just like all over. I was one of those. And I learned how to slow myself down. ADHD, OCD, all that stuff. Okay, maybe a doctor said I was that. It didn't ever matter because Mom never picked up that terminology. She just had people like earth angels, people placed in our lives that gave her guidance, and on top of her natural intuition, she just knew that, it was what was best for me to express myself. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Right? And kids like that, they need something like for me, it was a bicycle. I got a bicycle when I was 4 years old. They had training wheels on it. I said, I don't want training wheels. Those are for babies. I'm not a baby. I don't want training wheels. So I marched my little tookus into the garage, got the pliers, took off the training wheels, and freaking took off the training wheels and just taught myself how. I knew that there was a threshold. I was born with this gift of knowing that there is this threshold that always existed. And that was the threshold that I passed through from I don't know how to do this thing that I want to do to knowing, oh, now I can ride a bike. You know what I mean? So I just was always focused on that threshold. And I knew that there was a center of balance. There's a place I had to get. And once you find that center of balance, try and unfind it. I've tried to unfind it after that. I couldn't do it. I couldn't find it anymore. Once you find that, the funny part is we all have that center of balance within ourselves. When I am too far in extremes, when I am too far over here in my emotion, when I am imbalanced, I am not in that center point where I can be open and receptive to receive the data and information that I need to process whatever situation I need to come up with in life. So one of the things I've had to learn in life is Mom's been trying to teach me my whole life is emotional control. To control my emotions. She said, I can't tell you if I had a square foot for every time Mom said, if you do not learn how to control your emotions, the system, you will end up in a place where you will be controlled, and you will not get to live the life that you want that you want to live, because you'll be incarcerated someplace. And so, I learned. And then, things happen in life. Oh, some of the tips, if you know a kid, try this. A kid's autistic, throws tantrums, stuff like gets himself worked up in a frenzy, him or her. They're just they're in a loop is what happens. They're in a frequency. You got to do something to shift that. Mom had a doctor. I think it was Dr. Chambers. Was it? Yeah. He was the one that said when she starts having these meltdowns, when she starts like, because I'm thinking, I'm not just having the experience that I'm having. I'm thinking of, I had a lot of trauma when I was a kid. So I had a lot of freaking meltdowns. So she'd get a cold compress and put it on the neck, cold as I could take it, just cold, and put it on the back of my neck. And that would it's like a switch. Because I'm hot. I'm a hothead. I shave the sides and the back of my head for the safety of the feelings of others. I'm not a violent person. When I say safety, I don't put hands on people. I learned that when I was in the Air Force. Is that laws, man, they're to get people in trouble. And I ain't trying to get in trouble. I got to come home to mom every night and take care of her. So, I go out, every couple times a week. I get to go into town for a couple hours. But, my primary purpose. But, I can't, yeah. Anyway. So much stuff to distract in the world right now. I did see a headline. I thought it was hilarious. Because oftentimes, I just see headlines. I don't watch the news. I see headlines and occasionally I'll click into a story. I ain't a fan of politicians, sports, they're all reindeer games to me. I have no politics, I watch stuff. Mom was watching American Mom and cracking up at it. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, you like this show? She's like, yeah. She was like busting a gut. I don't care what makes her laugh. It's just, she can watch whatever she wants. But just it's all scripted. DC is an extension of Hollywood as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing authentic about these people just, like I said earlier, they watch gangster movies with their sitting on their dad or grandpappy's lap or something. So they got these weird seeds planted on creating a whole lot of division, so much division. I see Turkey. I was supposed to go to Turkey. And I ended up on the island of Crete instead for Operation Iraqi bullshit. So, it's just hard to. I watch one reel. I can't spend too much time in that energy. Although I do for the people that have chosen this time to transition in these events. And it just reminded me of those buildings collapsed. Those buildings collapsed natural, It wasn't a controlled demolition like this country did to itself on 9/11 to perpetuate a military engagement that lasted 20-something years that should have never started. Just because a bunch of guys have to feel like men. The only way they can feel like men is by causing a great harm and great destruction. And what they don't realize, for every bomb, that is harm that is caused to the earth. That is and this nation that I stand on, it has caused so much harm to the earth. And there's nothing that any administration that is going to do to reverse the effects of the earth changes, because the natural cycles, You think freaking, you think women are freaking hard to live with their cycles? Wait, you go over, hang out with Ben Davidson for a while, listen to him. So, go watch his disaster playlist. Me and Mom, though, we're in the cool zone. So that's why I'm like, dude, if people want to come visit, we're in the cool zone. We're in the freaking there's like 2 strips in the United States that when the sun goes out, the only thing that we don't have, I know this isn't the place that we're going to end up because I know that because we don't have wood stove here. And we don't have wood heat. And so that's how I know. Anyway, but it's a great place for now. It's a great place for now. I could tell it's going to be a fun place when the weather gets nice. Mom and I did a couple laps in the yard today. Oh, I've been running my mouth. But, yeah, so in the disaster playlist, Ben Davidson, Space Weather News, Space Observer with a 0 because somebody else got the Space Observer with an O. Somebody else got the name. He's up in Colorado. He's trying. He gets a lot of backers and a lot of funding for people. So people pay him to put together his vision, And that's to have his observer ranch. He goes around in his bus, That's why I was like, it still always comes back to that to me. It's like, what are people, along the way of all these wonderful travels, what are people doing for people that can't do anything for them? There's so many people, man, that are just not capable. They're just not. Mom would not be around if she did not live with me. I know that. She would not be living still if she weren't with me. And there's a lot of people, she had a stroke when she was 38 years old. That's why she came to live with me, because they gave her a loan where her house payment was like $732 and your income was like $984. They took advantage of her. Because she lived in California and I was in Omaha. And I said, Ma, you come out. I said, they never should have gave you that loan, Ma. They should have said you only make this much, It's always about money. Everything's about money. It's not about taking care of people, making sure people's needs are met. I got a roof over their head. She wasn't eating. And I'd send her money. But she would still pay her bills before she'd eat anything. So, come live with me, Ma. You don't have to worry about it no more. But people don't do that. They put their parents in a home because their parents don't want to be a burden. Well, why would their children ever give their parents that idea? People have free will. They can be whoever they want. And who they choose to be is really gross these days. It's all that ego stuff. Just live for yourself. Just do what you want. Live that best life. Everybody else's, that's their problem. Somebody else's will be there to help them out and to who is that? Who? I assure you, if I've had experience with the VA system, they're worthless. All of these systems are made so the people in the systems can get paid. Try and find anybody that's been helped by these systems. You can't do it. They don't answer the phone. They don't answer their email. The menus are broken. The website, the human computer interface is complete junk. It says call this number and then this number doesn't exist. Nothing works. The whole world became like this choose your own adventure game that has no resolve. It just has people going around in circles and so many people are looking for an outcome. I did think it was funny, one of the headlights, I saw that the muskrat, I ain't a fan of him. You don't put chips in people's brains. You don't play God. I ain't into people that play God, and that dude plays God all day long, and he don't take care of himself. He's too big around the middle. He's got that spare tire. That's all ego, man. He don't care, anyway. So yeah, I don't like the muskrat. He's the muskrat. That's all he is to me. He's the muskrat. And I saw that he was talking. I don't. All that Emmy. They all do their little rituals and yeah, whatever. You know, more and more people are starting to realize it. I mean, I saw pictures. The dude was like dressed like Satan, had horns, you know. I mean, it's just absurd. It's just ridiculous. And people are like, yay, it's wonderful. And I'm like, this is not what God intended. The fuck is the matter with these people, man? And and then he's talking trash about Harry Styles or whatever that dude's name is. Never heard Harry Styles' voice in my life. Never heard a song of his. Never heard him. I don't care. Right? So, but it's just funny. Hello, kettle? This is the pot. We're the same color. You know, you're the same color as what? Because they were doing the same stuff about him when he drove up when he was all in his freaking ball sack sucking outfit on Halloween. You know, none of them are for God. None of them do what God wants them to do. They all do what they want to do. That is like a number one tell for me. I see people drive Teslas. I don't care how often they go to church. I don't care how often you are not for God in my eyes. You spend $120,000 on some bullshit. What have you ever done for some home? See, the thing of it is I know the people that need help don't get it because I am on the street with the people that have fallen so far down the cracks, society won't even look at them in the eye. I am for them. The people that society doesn't want to deal with. Because if someone wants to get clean, I'll help them get clean. I also know bullshit. And I ain't going to help somebody and I ain't going to put more effort into somebody that isn't going to put into into themselves. I ain't going to help people that aren't going to help themselves. And if people want to get better, it takes a lot of work. And if people want to be a different version and change their life, it takes a lot of work. That's why people don't do it, because it's hard. And it's not fun to sit there and look across the table at somebody and say, I was wrong. This is what I did. This is how I was a jerk. And be at the mercy of them to be able to accept whatever they want you to do to make it right. People don't do that. And that's the kind of stuff you got to do to level up. Come on. Everyone's all talking about being a spiritual freaking warrior and all this stuff. You know, that it has less to do about freaking going to a conference in Sedona. That don't make nobody no spiritual warrior. I will likely never go to Sedona. I likely will never go back to Arizona as long as I live. I feel like whatever karma I had in that place was freaking absolved when I lived there for 5 weeks, 2 years ago, huh, Ma? Or back in 2020, the end of 2020. Yeah. So, done. And Sedona, the storyline that falls in line with my heart is that was sacred land. And even the people that designated that as sacred land, they sold their souls too. They sold out. You can't do this because it's sacred. Oh, you got enough money? Money's not even real. Money is a made-up reindeer game. Taking care of people, we're definitely coming to a place where that should be more people's primary purpose. But they keep buying themselves. How many people I watch on YouTube have these big old... So that's the thing, is like, me and Mom, we'll have our own house, you know, and I would love to have visitors come and stay with us that we know, you know. But also, we got to be careful about who we spend our energy with, too, you know. I ain't just gonna put myself or Mom in harm's way, you know. So, everything is about balance. But I think it would be great if people came in and visited New Mexico. Just, hang out, drink some coffee, freaking, I'll show you some places. You go on some hikes if you want, take some pictures. But yeah, but people have all this is, and then the people that like the land is supposed to be intended for, they get eased out because you have all these other people that come in and like take it over. I mean, that's what this world is about. I mean, people have the heart space that they want, collectively what's good for everyone, and then you have those that no, this is how it's going to be. And I guess we'll see what. Benny, if people could send Benny some positive thoughts, high vibes. I gotta take him in tomorrow about 7:20. I'll leave here. I gotta drop him off by 8:30. So 8:20 we'll leave here. It's like 7 miles. It's gonna be cold in the morning. But he's got to get his dental. So he's got abscess tooth in there, and I always get nervous when they're my babies, and they're getting older. So, and last time, if I remember right, he usually doesn't have problem like being goofy because of the gas, and last time he did. No, it just makes him squirrely in his cage, in his noodle, in his brain. It just makes him goofy, Benny. The anesthesia, and I don't like it. And anyway, so should be all said and done by 2:00, 3:00. But who knows? Because the last time he had it done, or one of them had it done, I kept waiting for them to call me with an update that they were fine, and like he called and said they were running late and hadn't even started. So I'm just like, let go, because I don't sit in the all my energy I spend trying to transmute being scared. Just don't be scared, breathe through it. So constantly my days are spent just, because my adrenaline has been spiked so many times that it's constantly up here. So when something happens, it throws me into a place that sometimes I got to assess and just like go through automatic pilot, get through the situation. And then, the older I get, now I understand it wouldn't be like this if I had like, a buddy, like a roommate or something that was like a friend or like a companion that like I live with, that, just like being around a human being can literally buffer your energy. It softens the blow on stuff, It's easier for me to put on a braver face to get through situations rather than thinking, trying not to think about how all of the ways that it could go. Because if when other people are around, I don't have to do all that stuff. I'm less in my head. Anyway. I got that from, that's cold, Kev, man. It's all in due time. I get that from Key Jin. Her first channel, I think she got it taken away. She had lots. She had 30,000. I can't remember. She had tens of thousands subscribers. And a man slammed mom's head in a car door of a 64 Chevy Biscayne. And I didn't know about this until after she had a stroke. Because I actually overheard on the police. See, the truth always comes out. On the police scanner, I overheard like the rap sheet. Anyway, it was a trip. Anyway, yeah, mom's had to learn a lot of life lessons herself. Huh, Ma? Yep. I think it's kind of a blessing though that I mean, and so she remembers things that happened when she was younger, you know, like situations, you know, and food, like memory food, like taste will bring up memories and stuff, right? Yeah, stuff like that, or a song, you know, that brings up memories from her era, because she doesn't hear this stuff, these songs often. So when I play one that was significant, it stimulates recall, not just in her mind but in her whole body. Here's a picture of Ma when I was young. I found this picture. So yeah. So this guy freaking beat her up, and then she was down for the count, and then he picked her up and then slammed her head and if you look up a 64 Chevy Biscayne, if you don't know what that is, they're like the step sibling of the Impala. I mean, they're like the same thing. The body styles are a little bit different, not much, but they're very heavy. They're old and heavy. Anyway. Yeah, I did 6 years. I only did 6 years because I saw what it was, and I saw what it was before Operation Iraqi Bull. I saw what it was all about, business and making products and money. It had nothing to do with security, man. Security in life, the only place you're going to find security is inside of yourself. There is nothing in this world outside of oneself that is going to make one feel secure. Not even a gun. Things I know. This is just as I understand them, based on my life experience. What box? God, man, I live in the middle of nowhere, and there's more sirens out here. Because I live in lawless land. I live in New Mexico. Laws, rules, regulations, people think of those as recommendations. They don't go by them. There's a meeting tomorrow at City Hall I'm going to miss. And I asked somebody if they had it online, if they were going to have it online, because crime is getting so bad. And it's getting so bad here. Evidently, they got rid of street lights years ago so people could see the stars, right? Okay, maybe that's well and good then. It's a different world. There's too many junkies everywhere. Too many drug addicts. Too many people on pills. Too many people on drugs. Too many people trying to escape their lives. And then it's taking them to places and it makes them do things that's just straight up freaking bizarre. I've been talking for an hour. So I live in Taos. Let's see here. Taos, New Mexico. Population as of 2021, 6,595. Right?
Yeah.
Not enough people to have as much violent crime than they have here. Sober people are not committing these violent crimes. They're just not. Everybody's talking about mental health. They don't want to hang out with the people that are having the problems to even hear the story of them. They don't even want to hear their origin story. People need to be heard. A show Mom and I like to watch, Flatch. Right? Welcome to Flatch. It's corny. It's cheesy. It don't matter. It's make believe. So the last episode we watched, the character Kelly, she just wanted to be seen. You know, she was smart. She worked hard. She wanted to be valued. People want to be valued. They want to be seen. I know that there's a lot of people that want to fly under the radar, right? But even under the radar, they want to be recognized just as a being on this planet amongst everyone else from time to time. I guess there's people that have those placements that exist that completely contradict everyone I'm saying. I just never met them, even though they exist, I'm sure. They got their spectrum place on the mirror globe too, huh, Ma?
That's right.
So, what was I saying? My train of thought just derailed. People want to be seen, Flatch. It came back. So whoever put that out there, thanks. I picked up on it. I got it. And so at the end, like, of course they had to make it a dirty thing. I find it annoying that so many things revolve around sex. I find it really annoying. I think people should be hang on to that. I mean, what? People, I don't know, life expectancies are shortening, but still 70, 80 years old, right? People live, well, now they're shortening even more. So you live to be however long old you are, you know. I don't know why people are in such a hurry to, like, lose that part of their youth, because it does something to you. Sex puts you in a different place than you were before. And I think more people should just stay in that place longer to learn who they are without going to that place that they can't come back from. People are in such a hurry. I remember 6th grade, I was getting in a fight with the girl, Tanya Patton, last day of school. We got in a fight at the playground, right? She didn't come back. She didn't start school at CVI junior high because she got pregnant. I mean, I knew then that was gross. And I think about that now, that's gross. People acting like grown-ups and they're not. The last girl I liked, it was like, and people, it's totally normal. Like, they don't think there's a problem with it. It was kind of funny because I was on the episode of The Good Doctor that Mom and I watched this evening. But the last girl I liked, it was like, she was 16 years old, and then her boyfriend, who her parents let her live with, was 23. I said, your mom didn't do you no favors. She didn't protect you. You live with a predator. You were 16. And of course, I got the quintessential response from her. It wasn't like that. Sweetheart, it's always like that. It's fucking gross, man. This whole country is freaking... And they're coming out of the woodwork. All the perverts, they're freaking coming out of the woodwork. So this meeting tomorrow... They said the chief of police is going to be there. I said, I hope he irons his uniform. So the last time I saw him, because I went to a meeting at the city hall. They had it earlier in the day so I could go. They're having it at 5. And plus, Benny's getting his dental. He'll be home. I'm not leaving him. Well, I didn't know the guy was the chief of police. I just walked by a guy in a uniform, and I was like, you're a disgrace to that uniform. You have a meeting in a forum with a bunch of people. You can't I didn't say all this. I just said you were a disgrace to the uniform, and I walked on. And then later, like 10 minutes later, someone walks by, and they're like, hey, chief. And I was like, ah. You know? And then I wrote that in a thread that when somebody said, pass this flyer around, even if you can't go, because they're having a town meeting because there's so much violence. For last Friday night, not this last one, the one before that, somebody called a dude up to this freaking an SUV and freaking unloaded right in his face. You know, just like 6 rounds, like point blank. Guy dropped, and then they didn't even clean it up until 1:30 the next day. So Saturday, all these people are coming in grocery shop. You know, there's ice, snow melting, and they're freaking, you know, and the blood's like all running into it, and they're and there's like people that are like, oh God, look at it, and they're freaking out because it was just like this town is like a trip, man. It's a trip. This place is a trip. So, but yeah, people are just, they don't have emotional control. They don't have their locus of control or what, it's gone. They don't care. When you have so many people that have lost everything and they have nothing left to lose, and they're already not recognized by people in society because they walk by and nobody looks. I make a point to look at people in the eye everywhere I go, and people don't look at people in the eye anymore. Everybody's. Well, maybe more people started doing respectable things. Start seeing more heads popping up a little bit more. You think? Anyway. There's just more of this, man. It's just headlines. These headlines are just so... It's just, they lost their way. They lost their connection to spirit. And they're just running on automatic pilot, and the choices they're using of their free will are causing great harm. And as for the Great Awakening, it ain't all love and light, folks. The things that people are waking up to, the revelations, you know. My whole life, I lived in a world where people freaking did terrible things to babies. All the while growing up, I'm surrounded by people that say, no, that doesn't happen, that don't happen, that don't happen, that don't happen. My whole life is based on things that people say that don't happen. Now they're getting more and more evidence that stuff happens, you know. Happens to people like me. I'm what people like that turn into. If I choose to go with good orderly direction. Because the world has enough freaking egomaniac, freaking, you know, career driven. I did all that. I was in 3D world. I worked at a Jesuit university. Freaking best job. I could have just stayed there. You know, I'd probably be making 100-something thousand a year in the IT department now, and you know, but I wouldn't sell my soul. I wouldn't give up who I was, my principles, my morals, my moral constitution, my moral compass. I wouldn't give up my north, and that's what all of these entities, organizations, they all have you. You know, don't do what God intended, and you'll go far. And I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, and I still won't. We've been pretty much taken care of, huh, Ma?
Yes, yeah.
But we always live within our means, though. I never wanted more than I you know, all that fancy I'd buy and new this and that, and yeah, I think it's hilarious on Facebook Messenger all over the place, all this stuff that people bought from their COVID unemployment money. You know, all the money's running out, so now they got to offload all their stuff, all their crap purchases. I never bought a bunch of junk, you know. We learned to travel light. Anyway, keep it simple. Good rule of thumb, Ma. It's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad night. Peace.